I've always wondered why we weren't taught the life skills that truly matter in school. Things like financial education, negotiation, or building strong people skills. Skills that could actually set us up for success as adults. I think it should be a no-brainer to prepare young adults for the real world. So why were these essential lessons left out of the curriculum? What if financial ignorance isn't just a coincidence? What if it's a deliberate plan to keep you broke, poor, and struggling? Could there be secret individuals, systems, or structures out there that benefit from people being financially uninformed? Think about it. We learned how to calculate the speed of a moving train, recite historical dates, and memorize all the states in alphabetical order. But when it comes to handling money, most of us were left clueless. We weren't taught how to use debt to our advantage, invest in stocks, or even avoid the pitfalls of credit cards. To understand why you weren't taught about money, we need to go back in time, back to the Industrial Revolution. This was when the modern school system was born. Schools were created long ago during the Industrial Revolution in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Back then, the goal wasn't to teach people how to become rich or independent. It was to train workers for factory jobs. The rich and influential people, including industrialists like Rockefeller and Carnegie, needed workers who could follow rules, be on time, and do what they were told. So, Rockefeller shaped the educational system to produce obedient workers. And how did he achieve this? You see, John D. Rockefeller helped fund public education systems. He pushed a strict, standardized system designed to create workers for factories. Schools started focusing on memorization and following rules instead of teaching creativity or critical thinking. They don't want you to learn to think for yourself. Rockefeller once said, "I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers." Rockefeller, at some point, started suppressing educational methods that encouraged critical thinking and individualism. The truth is, powerful people don't need you to know how to manage your money. They need you to work for theirs. If they taught you money skills, most people would probably be millionaires by now. But they don't want that. The elites make sure you stay working your whole life, not building wealth. Think about it. If the goal was to truly empower us, why wasn't something as essential as financial management ever made a mandatory part of the curriculum? Because independent thinkers are harder to control. The system was designed to keep you in line, not set you free. This system was so effective that it hasn't changed much in over a century. Even now, schools mostly teach us how to get jobs. And most of us end up graduating with excellent grades, but with a poor person's financial programming and mindset, making it difficult for us to handle the money we earn. Fast forward to today, and the system has evolved. But the goal remains the same: keep you dependent. This brings us to the issue of debt. Debt is big business for banks and has become the ultimate tool to keep you in check. Debt is when you borrow money, which is called a loan, but you have to pay back more than you borrowed because of something called interest. How did debt become a weapon? You see, most people have only a little understanding of how debt and interest works, especially compound interest. Credit card companies and banks rely on this ignorance to rake in billions in profits annually. Many adults have loans for cars, houses, or school. They spend years paying it all back. Why? Because they didn't learn in school how to avoid bad debt or save money. Every dollar of interest you pay is profit for the banks. And once you're stuck in debt, you're far less likely to take risks or fight back. Debt isn't just a financial burden. It's a chain around your neck. And here's the thing. The debt economy isn't just about keeping you broke, it's about keeping you working. Because when you're buried in loans, you can't afford to stop working, let alone question the system. It's like an endless race. Another reason people believe money skills are left out of school is to keep you spending recklessly. The powers that be want you to live paycheck to paycheck, making it easier to control how you spend and save. On average, we're exposed to over 5,000 ads a day. And they are all pushing us to spend. Advertisers have mastered the art of manipulating our emotions. Every ad is designed to tell you, you're not enough, but if you buy this, you will be. They tell you that happiness comes from the next purchase. Ads tell you to buy things you don't always need, like the latest iPhone, new designer bag, trending video games, latest vacation spot, or the next course from your online guru. They make you think, if I have this, I'll be happier or cooler. And now, social media amplifies this, creating endless comparisons and desires. Influencers constantly flaunt lifestyles funded by sponsorships, not their own pockets. This constant chase for the next shiny toy keeps you too focused on pursuing material success. You begin to work endless hours so you can spend harder. And when you run out of money, you borrow, leading to more debt. There's no breaking free from financial dependence in this endless loop anytime soon. Some other people believe there's a bigger reason why schools don't teach money skills. They are of the school of thought that the rich and powerful want to control you. They don't want you to know how to manage money because it's easier to control people who are always worried about paying bills. After all, poverty is powerlessness and voicelessness. These rich and influential figures, many of whom own major banks and top corporations, have the money, influence, and networks to shape policies just the way they like. These policies keep the masses distracted, broke, and in check. They benefit from a financially ignorant society. The more you know, the harder it is for them to control you. And that's not in their interest. While this might sound like a mystery or conspiracy, it's clear that someone benefits from us staying clueless about money. And it's not us. So why hasn't the system changed? Why doesn't financial literacy make it into schools? Because the system doesn't benefit from your independence, it benefits from your dependence. The rich and powerful, many of whom own major banks and top corporations, have a great influence on education. These corporations sponsor schools, fund programs, and influence curriculums. They want to produce future employees, not financially independent individuals. Why would a corporation want you to learn how to escape the very system that makes them rich? An educated, financially independent population would demand better policies and greater transparency from the government. They don't want that. If everyone started saving and investing wisely, economic growth would slow down. Governments rely on consumer spending and debt to keep the economy running. Why would they teach you to escape the system when their entire business model depends on you staying in it? In other words, the system can't afford for you to be financially literate. Some might argue that financial education should be taught at home with parents, as schools might struggle to align lessons with different family values or how they live. But why aren't these important skills taught in school in the first place? Could it be that financial education is left out on purpose to keep us struggling and stuck in a cycle of poverty? As Oliver Goldsmith once said, "Laws grind the poor, and rich men rule the law." This system benefits those at the top, while the rest of us are left scrambling to make ends meet. So, do you think it's time for a change? Or are we just stuck in a system that keeps us from getting ahead?